guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to quickly give my take on the whole Dalvin Cook situation. We do have another update. And quick side note, I'm happy that with Dalvin Cook, it seems like we're actually getting some updates as time goes by. Obviously, training camp starts up, at least, for the Jets and the Browns here, in just a few weeks. Right, July 22nd, I believe, is the first day of training camp, at least that's open to the public. And obviously, Dalvin Cook isn't going to be one of these guys that is waiting until, mid-regular season to sign. All indications are pointing that he wants to get in with the team before the start of the regular season. So with training camp approaching, not just for the Jets, but for a lot of teams, hopefully news does officially break soon. But Jeff Darlington was on NFL Live yesterday and did say that Dalvin Cook is not willing to accept the current offer from the Miami Dolphins. Now, on one hand, it's good, right? It's good for the New York Jets, I should say, because, hey, he could have went to the Dolphins, he could have signed that contract, and it could have been over with, and the Dolphins all of a sudden snag a really, really good running back, helping boost that football team, right? Furthering their playoff expectations. But then on the other hand, it's somewhat bothersome. It's somewhat worrisome because you can now say, well, hold on. It's not just about team fit. It's not just about where the team plays. Money is going to be a hurdle here, right? Because, think about it. When we've listened to Dalvin Cook talk about some of the, really what he's looking for in his next destination. He wants to help a team win a Super Bowl. He wants to be like that last piece to get the team over the hump. He wants to be in a place that wants Dalvin Cook. And obviously the Miami Dolphins have had a ton of interest in Cook for like the longest time now. He's from the area. He went to school at Florida State. He's a former teammate of Jalen Ramsey. There's so many different, and obviously Dalvin Cook is an upgrade over every running back on the Dolphins roster. Although they do have a lot of depth, Dalvin Cook is, a step ahead of pretty much everybody there. So Cook to Miami does make sense. Also, given the track record of the Dolphins front office, pretty much just making a push to sign every big name that I feel like hits the open market or is floated around with trades, right? With Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek Hill, Armstead, right? Last season with the New Orleans Saints. So Cook to the Dolphins definitely makes sense. I'm not ruling it out, but if he really, I'll say this, if there was a contract offer on the table and going by this report, Dalvin Cook turned it down, he's turning it down for a reason. There was a suggestion saying that Dalvin is trying to create leverage potentially within the AFC East as well, because Cook has been frankly linked to the Jets, Bills, and Patriots, along with the Denver Broncos, right, in the AFC West, who, working with Sean Payton, working in that offense, working behind that offensive line, he's going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays, right? So the question now becomes, okay, what's the number? What's the price range that Dalvin Cook is looking for here? Because if Miami was the number one option and money wasn't really that big of an issue and he was, just all about the, he wants to land with his number one team, I think he probably would have accepted the Dolphins offer, assuming that it was relatively fair. Assuming this report is true here, if the contract offer was like 1 year, $2 million, okay, I don't blame Dalvin Cook for turning it down. Obviously, he's worth way more than that. But if it was like 1 year, $6 million, 1 year, $7 million, and he's turning it down, okay, hold on a second. We could run into a couple of issues with Dalvin Cook joining, the New York Jets here. We all know Joe Douglas likes to keep the cap flexibility. He does like to have outs, if you will, never fully tied down, never going to, completely lock down the roster to where we have no, flexibility to make a move, trade for a player, scoop somebody up off of waivers. He likes to have that wiggle room, right? As do, a lot of GMs in football. But here's the deal. The Jets have a couple of things that have to be hammered out before the start of the regular season, ideally before the start of training camp, which again is quickly approaching here. Today's July 9th, Sunday. I want to extend Quinnen Williams. We need to restructure Aaron Rodgers' contract. I want to re-sign Quan Alexander. Will all three things happen within the next 10 to 14 days. I don't know. I don't know. If Dalvin wants a ton of money, right? 9, 10, $11 million, I'm not sure he's going to get that from the Jets. I'm not sure he's going to get that from a lot of different teams out there. So, when we think about hypothetical situations, maybe Dalvin prefers the Jets over Miami, but the Jets offer isn't as high as the Dolphins. He's going to turn down Miami's offer, hopefully getting the Jets offer up. Again, a hypothetical situation, just trying to picture what could be happening behind the scenes. But I really think at the end of the day, Dalvin Cook, we all know it. He's a great player. And I think he would help out a ton of teams. Ironically enough, he would help out all 4 teams in the AFC East. But it comes down to the one big unknown, right? We've heard from Dalvin Cook. He's on social media. He's liking these posts from, all the teams in the AFC East, right? Cook is linked to the Bills. Cook, highlights here, jersey swaps there, all these different things. It's pretty cool. We've heard from him what he wants in his next destination. The only thing that we don't know is the true asking price for Dalvin Cook. What did this contract from the Miami Dolphins look like? Again, if it was 1 year, $1.5 million, okay, things aren't really changing. But if the Dolphins offered him 1 year, $6 million, 1 year, $7 million, and he's turning that down, it's like, all right, we could be in for a couple of weeks with no news, right? Unless Cook's asking price comes down, maybe training camp hits and somebody gets hurt and a team, says, oh, Dalvin Cook's still in the market. We have a bunch of cap space. Here you go. Maybe a situation like that unfolds. But, man, who knows how this thing is going to play out. But I do know this. Cook is a great player. He would be a fit on the Jets. He would be a fit on the Dolphins, on the Bills, on the Patriots. And it's going to be interesting, right? This is one of the more intriguing storylines of the offseason to follow so far. And the one thing I'm thankful for is that there is actually some progress. There is some updates kind of as the days and weeks go by. It's not just radio silence for weeks on end. And same too could be said with DeAndre Hopkins, with the Titans' interest, with the Browns being rumored, with the Patriots supposedly having a contract offer on the table. So yeah, again, it'll all be interesting. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.